Turn brightness up all the way. Good morning, guys. Hold on. Let's get your special opening, and then we'll go from there. Hold on. All right, good. You can hear me. Okay, the number that came out was disgusting, and that's why we're down. We're going to jump right into it. That number was gross. If gross looked like a number, that's what it looks like. Hold on. Let me show you gross, and then we can kind of go from there. Hold on one second here. Where is that gross number? I already grabbed this off the internet, so I don't really want to do it again. I want to get used to the internet's having all this stuff on there. See if we can find it. There it is. Perfect. So let's go to ES for a moment. We'll drop this down. And this is what happened, guys. Just so you know why we're down and what's going on out there. All right. So here's May. And here's where you're at. And you can see that this is the worst U.S. ADP employment change ever. Trump's already out blaming Powell. It's not Powell. And Powell can't do anything about this. Here's the problem with this. If Powell cuts rates because things are bad, the market's going to go down. You need to increase productivity. And that's the problem here. So from our standpoint, it's not a function of Powell. It's a function of What's he going to do about it? And what he needs to do is just come up with a policy and stick with a policy and stop jumping all over the darn place, because that's why people aren't hiring. And you can actually see the change from when people got excited and started hiring on the employment side to when people are sick of not knowing what they're going to do here and not knowing where this is going. And it has nothing to do with where interest rates are. Literally zero. It's got to do with uncertainty. And it's not crazy that this came home to roost. So that's a year level. It's not great. I've seen great before. If great was in a graph, that's not what it looks like. So keep that in mind. It's definitely something that we want to pay attention to. Now, if I go to ISM Services PMI, and I just want to show this. This is the consensus. This was the previous. This is where you're at. There's no way to sugarcoat this number. What I think the market's going to do, and this is just my opinion of the market, but what do I know? My opinion of the market is that they're going to shake it off. It depends on ISM Services, because this is past data, not future data, and he's going to get a pass here. That's what I think. But the idea that he's out screaming that Powell needs to cut rates, like Powell's to blame, he's just shifting the blame. He's not. It's tariff on, tariff off, tariff on, tariff. Like, you can't do this with trillions of dollars. And it's an issue. So I would just say this, that off the first 5-minute move, you came completely down on that, and then you dropped from there, and now you're kind of holding. So you have your range set, and as people know, I like setting these ranges, especially that 1-minute orb range, because it tells you a lot. And there's that 1-minute opening range break, right? So once you have that direction, it is what it is. You can almost stay short until you get back above it. But if you flip this up here, you're going to want to know. So like what I tend to do with these days, not even if you're a futures trader or not, but if I flip the 1 minute there, or I flip the 1 minute here, I want to know that I'm going to do that. And, this is really like, if you're a futures trader, you almost have to do the exact opposite of what the market's doing. But when you see something like this, like, you want to know if you're flipping that. Because if you can flip that area, that's when you'd probably want to really start going heavy on individual names and start looking at them. But, it's up to everybody to kind of figure out how they want to trade and what they want to do with it. From my perspective, there's not a whole heck of a lot that I would say, or there's not a whole heck of a lot that I would, that I would do about it. I would just sit, watch, and wait, and kind of go from there and, reassess. I don't think there's a lot that I really want to, I don't think there's really a lot that I'm going to do on that number. I think you have to understand that that number is the precursor for tomorrow. And maybe we should address that, because this is actually important. There's sometimes, as you guys know, how I look at the world. And I think that this is really important. Hold on one second. Let me just go through this. But I think it's really important to get this. So we'll go through it. As you guys know, I look at the world as there's a macro front, there's a technical front, and we'll put them in order: macro, fundamental, technical, right here. And what you want to do is understand that I just look at the world as a stool. And so sometimes you're leaning on one leg, sometimes you're leaning on the other, but you need all three in order for this to work. See how you're already rejecting that level? So just watch. But right now, this week, the macro leg is going to be a big deal. You also have the fundamentals of AVGO tomorrow. But overall, it's what we're saying is not great, the way they're acting on some of these names. But here's the point. You got to watch what happens here. And so tomorrow you're going to get all this other data, and we should really go through that, because I do think it's important. The more that I look at this, I'm going to just do it through screenshots. I just think it'll be easier to do it that way, because there's some numbers in here that people aren't even aware are coming out tomorrow that are going to be important. I don't care about the auctions. You guys know the auctions are tomorrow, but what we're going to do is let's do the claims and the productivity. And we can do labor costs too. Hold on. But some of this stuff I don't think people are even aware of is coming out. And I do think it's really important for you guys to be aware of this, because you can see a move at 7:30 and not even understand why. So, and I actually think that might be the number that you really want to watch. So tomorrow you're going to get these challenger job cuts. And this tells you, how many people are losing their job. Here's the previous number. And they're this big hedge hunting firm that uses this data. But here's the point about it that's really interesting. If you stay stagnant, it just means that you're staying stagnant. In other words, yeah, maybe no one's hiring, but nobody's firing either. Maybe people are just in a holding pattern to see what's going to happen. What's that crazy kid going to do next, right? And I joke, but you want to see what happens here. I think that this could be something at 7:30. So if you see a movement at 7:30, yeah, that's kind of why you're seeing that movement at 7:30. And give me 1 second here. I'm going to have to start hedging some of this risk. I got some risk on here. I'm going to have to start hedging it out. I can already see this. Give me 1 second. Here. What are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you going? This freaking thing. Sell puts, they said. Make money, they said. Come out to the coast, have a few drinks. All right. So the challenger job cuts, that's super important. But then initial jobless claims, 240. The consensus is lower. You really don't want to see an uptick here. You don't really want to see that. And then you get into non-farm productivity, unit labor costs. But does labor increase or is it decreasing? That's super important. Non-farm payrolls, the productivity, are these people being productive? It does matter. You're going to want to watch this. Continuing claims, the previous was 919, so they're expecting a drop on these. This continuing claims number is increasing, and it's been increasing, and no one's really paying attention to this. And it's starting to become an issue. And I just want to show you something, and then we'll get into stocks and charts. But this is really important because when this happens, it's an issue. And, it's something I'm going to go over in Saturday's video for us. But I already kind of have it mapped out, like why is this so important? And I'm going to explain it in Saturday's video. So you can just watch that. But just to get you through tomorrow, I just want to show this. So this is U.S. continuing claims, and this is, just 1 year of where you are. And continuing claims, we went from that, that Obama hope and change kind of era in here to now we're back to, oh, by the way, continuing claims are at all-time highs for the year. And it's not like we've all seen good before, right? It doesn't look like this. And I'm not saying it from a political party standpoint. I'm just saying like, the uncertainty that we're doing is driving this. So all we have to do is get rid of the uncertainty. And that doesn't mean that we are going to get rid of it. It just means that that's what's doing it. I just want to just so people can understand how significant this is. Here you are, that's 3 years. And that's where you're at. You're at 3-year highs of continuing claims. So are people starting to not be hired back? Are people staying off work a little bit? Maybe that's starting to happen. So this becomes something that we really need just to pay attention to and kind of go from there. I can't really stress that enough. We really just want to watch this and say to ourselves, okay, well, what does this really do for us? Or how do we, want to handle this? You got to handle this area with kid gloves going into non-farm on Friday and Thursday's numbers after you see that. What I would do from a trading standpoint is understand that anything is under a trade until I'm over this. If I can't get over that level, I'm not going to take all these off because that's going to annoy me, and then I'm going to get rid of my, so I'll remove this one by one. I wish there was a way to remove partial by clicking on it. So that would be better, wouldn't it? That'd be the bee's knees. So you want to watch these areas like super carefully, but that data that's coming out, man, yeah, you got to watch that stuff. You got to watch it closely. Give me 1 second here. I need to go get more caffeine. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. So yeah, you want to watch this stuff closely. In regards to names, like CoreWeave, if you're in the community, you already know we're trading the heck out of this thing. But what it usually doesn't end like this. Like it usually ends with this thing opening up like 20, 30, 40 points and people going, that's ridiculous. It shouldn't be there. And here's the answer to that. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter what should happen. This is what is happening. So you can say this is stupid all you want, but it doesn't matter if it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like no one cares. What they find for me to short. It's got a short alert. Let's see what they found for me to short. SBET. They just found stock for me to short on SBET. And let me see that something here. Let me see if they found stock on CoreWeave yet while I'm here. I was trying to short some CoreWeave last night and they couldn't find any. Let's see if they'll find any now. Let's just say there's no short on CoreWeave. There's still no short out there. If I can't short on IBKR, some people said center point, but then they found like 60 shares. Watch this today. You guys want to watch this move. I don't know who's going to want to be short CoreWeave going into AVGO's numbers. Like, I don't know. I mean, do you not love yourself? Like, I don't get it at all. Like, who would want that risk? They're never going to make semiconductors again. The video looks like a monster. This is right back to that level we got deep seeked at. I think that's super important. There's a couple trades here or short things that I want to go through. I added that last message. Oh, thanks, Concierge. Appreciate that. A couple of things I really want to go through here. So on the video, I'm going to give you a couple levels that I think are super important, and you can do what you want with them. Free will and all that. But I am going to have to make sure that I am on time in the room today because I can already see what's about, like what's happening here. So just FYI on that. If I look this level here, and if I look at this level here, you got a bunch of stuff going on up there, guys. I think you can get through it. I don't know you're going to do it like before 10 o'clock, but I think you're setting up here. And I'd watch this super carefully, like super, super carefully. Give me 1 second here. I don't know why you're doing that. It's so weird. So I'd watch this super carefully and go from there. But from my perspective, these are your big levels. If you got through all this stuff, just FYI, I mean, it's on. And here it is again, but like it's on. Like once you're through this, see it right here, okay? That's like a monster level. This is where we got deep seeked. Everybody remember this level right in here? This is when they came out and said, China says we don't need so many AI chips. We can do it with 5 different chips, a hamster and a Pokemon card. We don't need all your chips. Everyone's like, wow. They can, and then everybody else went out and spent billions and billions of dollars because they didn't have to, right? That's me being facetious. So I'd watch that level like a hawk. That's a huge, huge level. And I think you can get through it. And I think when you do get through it, these levels are going to start looking like a hot knife through butter. But you have a lot of people that held into that deep seek, and you can see it even here how powerful that level was coming across. So if I could give you one thing, see the close right here, see it right here. Like I guess I could just do it this way, right? Hold on, and I'll just mark it off so you can actually see it. But like it's all right in there, man. That low here, see the battle right here, see the open there, the close there. That's a huge level and a huge area for this name. So you do want to watch this. I have a lot of this on, just disclosure right now. And I have puts married to it. If you're not married puts right now, like it's so cheap to do. It just is. But that's how I see it. And that's your monster level. Like this is it. Like this is it. This is the level. Like I don't know how to explain it. This is, you're coming into it. This is the Clubber Lang of all levels for those Rocky fans. How about that? All right. So AVGO is just blue skies. I'm being asked about this. I know I'm going to be asked about it. There's nothing to do. I own this a lot cheaper. I'm not saying it because I'm super smart, but I am. But 188, we're in from that area. I mean, it wasn't rocket science, guys. The stock blows up and the company comes out and says, hey, we're going to go buy billions and billions of our own shares back in here. Like, I don't know, maybe pay attention to when companies say they're going to do that. Your all-time highs going into earnings. NVIDIA had restrictions. AVGO did not have restrictions. There's not much that I can say about this, except like the count for me to mark where this is going off like fib levels. It's so high. It's like, it's silly for me to even show it. Like when you see stuff like this, I don't use this high. I use like another high, like back here, and I would drop it to here. But the count's like 318, 319. Like this can go. And I don't think people get it yet, but they're going to. And then they're going to say it's too high, like a ball hit out of a park. But what you want to do is like, can you hold 250? Like once you flip 250, that was it. And what's interesting about this is you didn't flip 250 the day before. And then once you did, it was on like Donkey Kong. And this is what you're dealing with now. So there's not a lot of levels there. Like AVGO is just blue skies. And that's what people have to understand about it. I don't know how else to say it. Like AVGO is just blue skies. And for me, I don't know how the earnings go. And anyone that tells you that they do, I think they're going to be great. I think crowd was great. Let me rephrase it. I think crowd was okay. But it really doesn't matter, does it? Like it was just a disaster the way it's acting. And I don't think it should be. I want to be real clear about this. I don't think crowd should be acting the way that it is. But what I think and what is happening are two different things. I don't always get my way, or Giselle would have called back. So it is what it is. But I do think that you want to really pay very close attention to this level, and I'll leave it there. And I had some other notes, and then after those notes, I'll take questions for the time that I have remaining. NVIDIA, AVGO. I do want to go through this because this was one we did in the room, and I think this looks great. I really do, and I'll walk you through it. And the levels. So let me just show you these levels and then we'll go from there. But this 372 is the bee's knees. It's the cat's pajamas. It's the ant's pants. I'm just mark it here so you can see it. And then what I can do with that is drop it like it's hot there. And then you'll see it coming straight across. Now you can't unsee it. Look at it. Look at it in all its glory. See it? You can't miss it now, right? You guys say it. And so you're always looking for these battle areas. Like where do they battle, right? You crazy kids with your video games, just think of it as a battle. Say it gets tighter and tighter, and then wham, it touches it, and that's it. So that 372 is huge. I would say that if you break down here, you probably see a little bit of your panic. I don't know that you're going to. Any chance of flipping up here, and it's on like Donkey Kong. I don't know you have to worry about this little minute stuff. What I would say is out of these little levels, this wick and that wick are super interesting to me. Because that's where the algo said, we'll sell everything that you have. And then when it flipped, this is where the algo said, we'll buy everything that you have. Same thing here. So you want to watch those areas. So I guess if I was to suggest an area to watch, it'd probably be those right there. And I think that's super important. What else do I have on my little notes? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And MSTR and give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. We should be back up with the bonding. The lack of concern about the lack of bonding is starting to hurt my feelings, to be honest with you. But the new monitors just came yesterday. I have to unbox them. CoreWeave, NVIDIA, Lumen. What's up? That is probably the worst joke ever. That is such a bad joke. Let's do Lumen. Of all the jokes, that's like the worst. What's a dentist's favorite time of day? Tooth hurty. Get it? No. Good morning from downtown Fort Myers. Fort Myers booming. I have no clue. Not a clue. What I would do is I would hire an accountant that specializes in stock trading. You do not want to take from some tax advice from some dude on the internet, especially one like me that does not have any background in that. You'd want to hire an expert. DGW, we got. So DG, I own this. I thought this was pretty obvious, like really, really obvious, like Rick and Morty obvious. So like, I think you can get up to here. Super easy. But we'll see. I thought it was really good. And now you have Dollar Tree, right? And these things just follow. So like if Dollar Tree goes down, you just might want to watch this off the open. This is definitely one to watch off the open because they tend to follow each other. Even though they pretend that they don't, they're lies. They're just sugar-coated lies. That's what they are. And then you have this one coming out next. All right. Okay. And so this one will come out tonight, I believe. Yep. Yay. And then what you want to look for, obviously, is that gap fill, which is, it's 8 points. It's better than being, kicked. So I'd watch those because I think that they're going to move on that. And what else do we have? So interested. All right, cool. Yeah, please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. Yeah, hire a really, really, really good account. What's up, Ed? Doggy text. Depends how big the dog is, brother. Lulu? Let's do Hood. We'll do both. Let's do both. Because I'm probably going to be asked about this. There's nothing to do here. Like if you're in it, congrats, it's gone. Like it's gone. It's off to the races, right? I can't buy all the names. I don't know what the news is. Some news just hit on Hood clearly. And I don't know what it is, but something just hit on this. So I don't know what it is. Someone's going to talk about it. And we'll go from there. But there's definitely something going on there. I mean, you can see it setting up as we're talking about it. I can't look right now because I'm online, so I tend not to stray from this when we're doing it. But somebody wants in, like, I don't know if that is, if you know what the news is, just pop in the room. Somebody had to get it. Somebody had to get out or in. So that could be a swing. It could be anything, but somebody is definitely making a move there. Yeah, something's going on. I probably want to watch this. You might want to see if that bar gets bigger than this bar. And do you have follow through? And now you're marking that bar off. So just watch this. Do you get follow through or does that break? Might as well watch it while we're doing it. I love when we can do stuff together. So like if you break that, you probably, it could be like NNE yesterday and then roll back down. Like maybe somebody had to get out, like they don't have a choice. So, but that's a move. I don't think there's anything on the tape. Go take a look. If I have anything on the tape, I don't see anybody talking about anything. I don't have anybody having any news on that. So if you have it, drop it. I try not to look at it while we're here. So, give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can just do it super quick. Let me just see if I can find it. Someone's mentioning rumors of S&P inclusion. Is that this week? S&P inclusion? There's a rumor floating around. That's what I have on it, but I don't know anything about that. So it is what it is. I don't know. I'm just telling you what's floating around out there. Lulu, I want to do because I think that this is super important. You got right back to this level and you held again, and I don't think there's anything more to say about it. You got back to the same support level that you held at last time, and you had buyers. And then from there, all you did was rip and run. It looks like it's going to be a monster again. You're seeing the volume coming in. I don't know what earnings are going to look like. You never know. It's like a box of chocolates with that company. It really is. You just don't know what you're going to get. It tends to mark the high unless it's May, and then it doesn't. But it does mark the high for AVGO. It really depends, but I'd watch that like a hawk and go from there. But Lily, I think looks great. I think you have that patience. I like AVGO a lot. I have a large position in AVGO. Yeah, I think you're fine here now. I mean, it clearly broke out of that level. You clearly broke out, and then it's done nothing but lift since then. There's very little to say about it. It's just going to be a monster now. Hopefully, they got it all together, but we'll see. It's you most likely you're heading back. I'm just going to grind. It's an industrial, and once it figures out its crap, it'll just grind. But from Virginia, I like Lily a lot. I really do. I looked at this down here at like 737, like 2 days ago. And I should have just bought the darn thing because I saw it. I saw the turn and everything. I'll show you. So say it. Oh, you guys don't use RSI because you don't believe in it. Blasphemy. But if you like you look at this stuff, see how like the RSI broke out here already over, like that's telling you you're probably going to go. And then it flipped and it's up 20 points since then. So I thought it could go. And then they had that meeting. So you're probably heading over this stuff and you're probably going to work your way back. It's in XLV. So I think it's gotten really bad rap because it's one of the top 10 in XLV. But I do think you can get back up here fairly quickly. I mean, I think there's 100 points there, but it's super slow. It's just super slow. So we'll see. What time is it? Wow, fascinating. No one has a clue why that thing's up. It's so interesting. Yeah, CoreWeave's been an absolute beast. I saw that news on this, and nobody seems to care. I don't know why they don't care. I really don't know why they don't care about that news, but they don't seem to. I don't know why you would do anything here. Like, I mean, if you own it, you own it. Like, there's literally nothing to do. Nothing. And there's a level here that if you flip, you're gone, man. Like, I shouldn't have it that. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Bonk. That's it. So if you can get over that, And I think you're going to see like when it gets tighter like that contraction, see the points? It doesn't matter what kind of chart you look at. It doesn't matter if you do candlesticks. Like I know people that don't even use candlesticks. It doesn't matter. Use what you're comfortable with. But like I'll just mark it off because sometimes it's actually easier to see without candlesticks, like those lows. See those lows of these bars and then how you don't break that area, right? So you definitely want to watch this because if you get through that, that's actually how I learned to trade. I learned to trade from open, high, low, close. I just love candlesticks because the pattern recognition just makes life so easy. But you can't miss that you're riding that line over and over and over again. And if you flip that, man, which I think you're going to, the count's probably 160, 165, something like that. So going here. Good morning from Virginia. What's up, Bob? I'm not going to have time to do all these guys. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know what my thoughts are on Korean electrical power. That's a pickle. I can't remember unless I was asked about that. I don't have a clue. I mean, clearly it's booming, but I don't know anything about it. I don't think you're. I think that. Hey, what's up, Cal? What's going on, Boomer? Oh, I got your DM. I will watch that podcast. Thanks. What are you asking me about? KTLS. I just had a boomer moment. Yeah, I think that all this stuff. I think he's going to just GDP us out of what we're in. I really think that's where he's going with this. I think you have a shot at it. I think it can flip. What's up, Dex? HWM. I keep looking at this over and over again. What's up, Jacob? I just am waiting. Like I'm waiting to like get a shot at it. How's that going for me? Not very well. But thank you for asking. Not very well. It's a pendulum. And now that pendulum's going to get tighter and tighter. So I don't really have to do anything in there. APLD, watch 1060. I'm wicked smart. I'm wicked smart. Just ask me how smart I am. I'm so smart. Just ask me about it. MCT, I saw a bunch of the hoople heads trading this thing in the room. I think they were killing it with it. I have nothing to do with this thing. I don't know what it does or, I don't have a clue. These guys love this stuff. I don't trade this stuff. It's not right. It's not wrong. I'm not saying I shouldn't say that. I will. Like if I can catch them early, I'll just buy them and hold them. Like, I don't know why this thing was doing what it was doing yesterday, but like, it was like out of nowhere. All of a sudden, everyone's got to be in it at 9:30. It goes to 10, and then it goes back down to 7, and then you run into the close, right? And then boom, and then, well, that's the close. Geez, God, this thing was a monster. I don't play with this crap usually because I can't get in or out, and size is a pain, but it's a monster. So, you're grabbing a tiger by the tail, man. Like, just, you got to let it go when you want to. What I would say about it, which is kind of interesting, is this. So, see where you're at here? You kind of work this off. See how you came back down to here? And I know it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just giving you an idea. Like, you might turn. What would really like tell you that you're busted is right here. For those that are playing this crap, and I'm not calling it that just because that's how I talk. But like if it breaks 30, you probably have a pickle. It could hit 30. It could hit 30 and bounce. I don't know the story. Maybe they invented air. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, sure, of course. NVTS, I like actually here. NVTS. So I actually like this here. There's a couple little names like this that are setting up NVT, but they're different things. Like this Cliffs is setting up too. So I haven't figured out why this is moving yet. Okay, it's interesting. So yep, please hit the like button, helps greatly. Did they raise it? That's good. They raised it before earnings? I missed that if they did. If they raised before earnings, that's huge. That means it's actually going to be better than expected. I don't see that they did that. Hood buyout of Bitstamp? Is that what's doing it? They acquired Bitstamp. Oh, okay. So they bought somebody. Old news. I'm not crazy about that. I think it's trash. I'd be super careful. Oh, is that what they said? B of A came out on the tape. I haven't got through all the news. There's so much to go through. QBTS is fascinating to me. I'd be really careful of those, thinking those things are a thing there. Okay. I'll tell you what's fascinating to me. I shorted this last night on the news that they were doing a secondary and then it didn't go down. So I got to jump, guys. I'm super late. That hood's very interesting, but I'd watch how we open and go from there. I'd be really careful of how we open and go from there. And we'll see. We'll see. But trade to win today, guys. As I tell my son, make good choices.